Hey, what's going on, beautiful jellyfish? It's Tracy, and today I'm going to be doing EDH tips part... Did I write it? Part 4. No, that's not even the right title. What? Where did I get that from? We're talking about EDH cards under $1 part 4, because honestly, who doesn't love EDH? Who doesn't love budget magic cards? It's like where it's at. So, let's just hop into it. Before we get started, I will list parts 1, 2, and 3 in the down bar below if you want to check them out. But these are just some of my staple cards that I really enjoy, and that can also work in a variety of decks. The first card I want to talk about is Crush Contraband. I love having various avenues of removing things, and I really like Crush Contraband because you can choose one or both with this card, but most of the time in EDH games, you're probably going to cast both. But honestly, it depends on your playgroup, because, like, realistically, I feel like enchantments is the one thing that I feel like I don't see a lot in my EDH playgroup. And if, like, most people have a lot of artifacts in their deck, like, when I say a lot, I mean, like, I don't know, like 8 or something like that, 8, 10, whatever, if you're not playing, like, an artifact deck, you know, because if your mana accelerations, something like that, that number might be a little bit off. But enchantments, I feel like, are a little bit less. Like, some decks I don't even run, like, any enchantments, so it just kind of depends. But I do like that this is one or both, and I love that it's exile. It's 4 mana, so honestly, 2 mana, if you have an enchantment and an artifact, 2 mana to exile, 2 mana per each artifact or enchantment to exile, I think is really good. So I do really like this card a lot. The next card, which I think belongs in, like, every green deck, is Harmonize. This card is awesome. It's really, really straightforward. There's honestly not a whole lot to say, but it's 4 mana, and you draw 3 cards. Sorcery speed. Like, there's not a whole lot to say here. It's a really, really good card. I love that this card has gotten reprinted because it's definitely in the budget option, which is awesome. Such good green card draw. Speaking of card draw, you gotta have it in blue, so we'll talk about my friend Brainstorm, which is an awesome card. And one thing I really love about playing with Brainstorm is that you're able to draw those cards, and then the best case scenario is that you're able to shuffle 2 cards away that you don't need. It's a really, really good early stage of the game card, and it's super affordable, which is awesome. Honestly, 1 mana to draw 3 cards, and literally you don't even care about those 2 cards you're pitching away, because if you're doing this at, like, early stages of the game where you're getting rid of the things that are really high mana cost, which is really good. So I do really like this card a lot. Awesome. This card is actually very similar to the first card we talked about, Crush Contraband, which is Fade into Antiquity. I've been running this card for literal years. I have loved this card, like, for such a long time. I think it's very strong. It doesn't look like it's anything fancy, and it's not, but it goes in all of my green decks because it exiles. And I, like, can't tell you, like, I feel so secure whenever I'm able to just exile something, because I know there's such a slim likelihood that I have to, like, worry about it. So I feel, like, so much better knowing that something is in exile compared to, like, being destroyed. And if anyone knows me, you know, I not only have a board whip in my hand at all times, but I always have some other removal like this, spot removal for creatures or artifacts and enchantments, and this is a really, really good one to have, and it's so affordable. Great card. Pretty in foil, too. A lot of these cards, what's really nice is they're really cheap, and then the foil is just, like, literally $1, so you could just get the foil for $1, which is awesome, which you should do if you like foils. Okay, the next card is Archon of Justice. I really like this card. I think this card is solidly underrated and underplayed, and I honestly feel like this card, I don't know if it should be more expensive. Like, I just think it's really good. So it says, like, when it is put into graveyard, you remove target permanent. Okay, this card is good for so many reasons. It's a little bit, like, mana cost-wise, a little bit expensive. It's 5 mana for a 4/4 flyer. Like, I think I would rather, like, a card have a smaller body and be less mana cost, because, like, if it's put into graveyard, I want it to be killed easily, but whatever, that's fine. Like, if this was, like, a 4 mana 3/3, does that make sense? Would that work? Even if it was a 4 mana 2/2, like, whatever. I think this card would still be really good, if not better, because it's cheaper. But whenever it's put into graveyard play, you get to remove anything from the game. This is really good in recursion type decks with white. I have this in my Tesa deck and I really like it, and I just think this card's very underplayed and very underrated, and it's really cheap removal. Like, I don't think this belongs in every white deck, but I think if you're playing a deck where you are recurring your stuff, I think this card is such a solid inclusion in the deck because it's any permanent, which is so good. So it's, like, not even just, like, a creature, it's anything. And if you have recursion, you can just keep doing it, which is so good. So overall, I think Ashen Rider is a really good card. Not Ash Rider. I always get this card and Ashen Rider confused. Like, it's ridiculous. I always get them confused. Oh, there's a hair somewhere, maybe. Okay, I don't know. I definitely feel invisible hairs, like, for a solid majority of my day. Anyways, the next card is Den Protector, which this is probably the only morph I've ever run in my life, and to be honest, will probably only ever be the morph that I run in my life. I played with another one for a little while, and I think I took it out. But I was just like, it's not Den Protector, like, I don't like it. I love Den Protector. I love recursion. It's one of my favorite things. Drawing cards is number one. And then probably number two is recurring things. I don't know. I'd have to get back to y'all on that. The first is drawing cards. I don't really know what comes second. But anyways, it's like, this card is so good, and I feel like it just doesn't look very good because it's kind of a lot of mana, but what I like about it is it's mana that's spread out, so you can just pay the 3 for it, and then you just later on pay the 2 to morph it. To unmorph it, to morph it. Whoa, now I'm really confused. Anyways, but it turns it right side up. So it's like 5 mana total, which does sound like a lot, and it kind of is, but I rarely ever literally flip, unflip. I rarely do that. I pretty much do it, and then no one, like, okay, honestly, unless you're playing a morph deck, like, literally no one is going to kill your Den Protector. Like, I have been playing with this card for a long time, and I have never seen anyone try to kill my Den Protector before, and everyone knows I run it. It's like, it's not going to happen. So if you're like, wait, if I don't leave 2 mana up, they're not going to kill it. I literally promise you. Unless you're playing a morph deck, in which case I have no idea what any of your morphs are. Like, that's different. Which, if you're playing morphs, you should definitely play this card because it's sweet. But anyways, I like it. It's such a good, like, green recursion card, and it's cheap, which is the point of this video, is that they're EDH cards that are cheap. And some of these cards, like, you could be like, okay, like, X card is better. It's like, okay, but, like, that card might be more expensive. And the point of this is, like, budget. Because I have a lot of people who I'm guaranteeing will watch my videos and they're on a budget, which is totally fair. Okay, the next card is a sort of like, dupe, I guess, kind of for Craterhoof Behemoth. I mean, realistically, nothing is Craterhoof Behemoth. By the way, that is still my number 1 card on my wish list. Number 1. Like, nothing, I want that in foil. It's like, nothing has beat that. And after I get that, I don't even know what I'm gonna do. Like, I have a massive wish list because I want, like, everything in foil, but, like, that's a number 1 card. Anyways, segue. End-Raze Forerunners. Now, this is for my people who have a deck like Rune, or a deck that just, like, want to just make green, big, stompy things. It's got triple green, so I don't know. Depending on your, like, split, if you're doing, like, this card with another, I would just be careful. But you're playing green, so you're ramping, so never mind. That's irrelevant. But this card is a mini Craterhoof Behemoth. I definitely, like, again, people are gonna be like, oh my god, like, it's not Craterhoof Behemoth, like, Craterhoof Behemoth is better. It's like, yes, but Craterhoof Behemoth is literally non-foiled, like, $30. And, like, some people just cannot afford that. This is a solid alternative. I do really like this card. It's got Vigilance, Trample, and Haste, so it can swing for 8. It's like 8 mana for what this does. Like, this card is so cheap cost-wise in the grand scheme of what it all does. And then at ETBs, other creatures you control get +2/+2, and Vigilance, and Trample on the turn. The whole idea is you play this and you win. But if not, you can just get a solid amount of damage in there. Overall, I think this card is really good. I like it. I do have this card in Rune, and it can definitely absolutely win the game. That's kind of like the point of it. And then blinking this is just like the dumbest thing ever. And I actually have thought about this with one of the cards that we're going to talk about. I have thought about doing a budget Rune deck if you guys would be interested in that. I do have my Rune deck tech, which I have on my channel, but I don't know how much the deck is, and it's hard because, like, I have a lot of cards in foil, so it's, like, so hard to tell, like, what the price of the deck would be if I didn't have them in foil, but I have thought about filming that and, like, making it, like, I don't even know what number, like, under 75 or something like that with the mana base. I don't really know. I haven't decided, but let me know if that's something that you'd be interested in, like, let me know what a number is good for a budget, if that makes sense. Okay, again, Tracy loves her board wipes, and realistically, I don't feel like this video would be complete if I didn't mention at least one board wipe, so we're going to be mentioning Planar Cleansing. I love this card. I have loved this card for a really, really long time, and it's so cheap, cost-wise. Like, it's just so good. It just, for 6 mana, literally destroys all online permanents. Like, it's so straightforward. It's, like, this card is an auto-include in, like, every white deck, and it's, like, you might be like, I run a lot of board wipes, and I run a lot of, like, some board wipes are more specific than others, but this one I like because it encompasses literally everything. I do really like this card a lot. So, the other card that I was talking about with the Rune deck was Mistmeadow Witch, and I was thinking about this card because I think this card's really good, and I honestly think this card could probably go in other decks. Like, I don't really know, like, what other decks would go with this, with these colors. Like, I can't really think, other than, like, other blink type effects. But I think Mistmeadow Witch is a really good alternative. Or not just alternative, just a good card. Like, it's very cheap, cost-wise, and then the ability is 4, and you exile target creature. Now, I just want to note, it doesn't say target creature you control, because sometimes some people don't realize that. So realistically, if someone has something that's swinging at you, you can blink their thing. And the best part is that you don't have to tap her. So you could do this as many times as you have mana. Like, I've been in instances where I've played Rune, and I've, like, literally blinked, like, multiple things, depending on how much mana. And it will get expensive cost-wise. Like, it's 4 mana, so, like, unless you have, I mean, you might have just, like, a lot of mana. But even if you have, like, 12, you can only do it 3 times. Only. I mean, realistically. But then you bounce it to, until their next end step, which is really good. Or what's really good about this is you can blink tokens, or you can just blink your own stuff. Like, I think this card is, like, a really good, like, well-rounded kind of card. And I think it belongs in decks other than just blink. And I think it's a good answer to things, and it's kind of just an annoying card, honestly, because, like, you can just keep blinking things. Also, you can blink itself, so if someone goes to target it, you can blink her. The card's really good, I like it a lot, and it's very cheap, which is awesome, and it's very pretty in foil. I'm pretty sure I have it in foil. If not, it's probably pretty in foil, because everything's pretty in foil. Okay, the last card, I kind of sort of cheated a little bit, but hopefully y'all won't be mad. This card's, like, a little bit over $1, so I know, sue me. But, Soul of the Harvest, I think this card is so good, and, like, I don't even know what to say. Like, there's not a lot of words that I can just, like, describe, but, like, this card is so good. I just want to note, it is non-token, so that would be really busted if that was the case. But whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, you draw a card. So simple, so straightforward. It's a huge body. Like, the fact that this is a 6 mana, 6/6 with trample is already really dumb. This is why. Wait, what was this set? What was this originally printed in? Innistrad? No, Avacyn Restored. Avacyn Restored. Got some good gems. Oh, man, I feel like more and more I've just been noticing. The elemental cycle was, like, really good, or, like, this cycle of cards was not, they were not all elementals, but they were all really strong. The black one's good too. But I like this card. I think it belongs in, like, a lot of things, right? I mean, I just think this card's so good. I really don't know what else to say about it other than it's just good. It draws you cards, which is, like, the best thing ever. And it's, like, a 6 mana 6/6 trample. Like, who authorized that? Like, that's not how balancing works. You're supposed to, like, do, like, it should have been, like, a 5/5 or something like that. Like, that's dumb. You can't make, like, a 6/6 and then have it be 6 mana, have an ability, have, like, a keyword, and then have another ability. Like, you can't do that. That's just, like, this card should have been a mythic or something. Like, it's just so good. It's a little bit over $1, but still definitely a really good budget card, and just so good. So good. I always feel so good whenever I have this card. So, guys, that is it. These videos are honestly so fun because some of them are, like, underrated, and some of them are just, like, cards that I'm like, whoa, this card's really cheap. Like, EDH does not have to be this expensive thing, and I think there's a lot of decks that can definitely do well budget-wise, but definitely let me know if you want me to film other budget decks. I've had budget decks actually on my list of videos to film for a really long time, and I just haven't, I just have other videos that I've just been filming. It's not that I don't want to film them, it's just I've been filming other stuff, but let me know if you want me to film them, and let me know what other videos you want me to see me do, because if you made it this far, you're awesome. Let me know in the comments below. And I decided that I'm going to be doing this thing called 12 Days of MTG Goddess, which I did this, I want to say, like, 2 years ago. I think I did not do it last year, but I want to do it again this year, where I film starting on December 13th. Yeah, I can start on December 13th, and then I'll upload, and then it'll be like a video on Christmas as well. I feel like some people start the 12 Days of Christmas on the 12th, which kind of makes sense because Christmas Eve, I don't really know, I'm confused. But anyways, I'm going to start mine on the 13th, and we're going to have a video every single day. So I'm going to be filming a lot of videos. So if you have any, like, requests or anything, and even if I don't necessarily film them for that, I just like to have requests. And some people, like, request videos that I literally don't film until, like, a year later. So it's not that I, like, don't like your suggestions, just, like, I just sometimes hang on to video ideas and I just film them when I want to. So that is it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know some of your favorite budget commander cards in the comments below, and I will see you in my next video.